Coming up in today's video, we will be discussing some really big stories surrounding WWE potentially signing a top NJPW star. Also, a lot of mixed reports on Sasha Banks, AEW, and a potential WWE return. So, of course, I got to talk about that. And we got to talk about the FTC. This is a very, very interesting thing. So, let's kick it off with that. Because WWE and AEW do have non-compete clauses to a certain extent. Obviously, one of the biggest reports that came out was CM Punk potentially getting a buyout from AEW, but then Tony Khan didn't want CM Punk to go into WWE. So as you can imagine, one of the things that was being talked about was a non-compete clause. Now we know William Regal's back in WWE as EVP of talent development. Obviously, WWE has the 90-day non-compete clauses. Well, the United States office of it's the Federal Trade Commission, and basically they are proposing a new rule that would ban non-compete clauses, and that would obviously change the wrestling world in a very major way. This would absolutely impact WWE, it would impact AEW, and pretty much any other company that chooses to do a non-compete clause. So basically what this means is that if you're a WWE superstar and let's say, for example, Stephanie, Nick Khan, and Triple H decide to release you, you can get released, but you would actually be able to just go right to a rival company right away. So there's no 90-day waiting period or anything like that. Now, this has not been passed just yet. It's really important that we acknowledge that. It's really important that we understand that this may never pass in general. It's just something that's been proposed. But AEW and WWE would operate very differently. People would choose very quickly. They would request their release. They would try to get released, and they would be able to go wherever they want, essentially. And I think that is a really big game changer. More so for WWE because we tend to see them doing releases more often than AEW. But if WWE, if this were to pass, I think you might see less releases from WWE because I think WWE ultimately would not want their talent being able to go to AEW or New Japan or whatever it may be. So this is a very interesting thing. I'll keep up to date with this. I'll see where it goes, if it goes anywhere. The FTC did issue a press release, and we don't know anything much more than that. It's got to pass in order for it to take effect, and we'll see where it goes. Let's talk about Sasha Banks. This is really interesting, guys, because there's so much talk about Sasha Banks. You got mixed reports. You got one report that comes out from a reporter from DAZN who's basically talking about Sasha Banks being Saraya's mystery partner. Then you have AEW announce that Toni Storm is Saraya's mystery partner for next week. So obviously a lot of people were thinking like, what the hell is happening here? Especially because obviously the rumors and everything, the leaks, everything that came out was that Sasha Banks would be in AEW. Now, with that being said, this is where it gets really, really interesting because there are some people in AEW who don't believe Mercedes Mone is showing up. Meltzer also says that WWE believes that she'll be coming back after she does this little world tour that she's doing. I don't know if reports are being released for the sake of them to be just released. I don't know if people are trying to be the first source and, all this different stuff. But I feel like we have reached a certain point, and I'm just going to be honest with you. It bothers me because I feel like we have reached a certain point in wrestling media where things are being said, and I don't know if they're actually being said to swerve people or if that's literally like what is being given to them from their sources. I don't know. Because with AEW, it kind of looks like they're teasing Hikaru Shida turning heel. And maybe because AEW knows that the January 11th show at the Forum in LA is so massive that just maybe AEW knows that Sasha Banks is such a big deal and people are already guessing it's going to happen. Maybe these reports are coming out to swerve people to make them believe that she's actually not going to be there, and then only for Hikaru Shida to then take out Toni Storm, obviously setting up that heel turn, right? And then, of course, Mercedes Mone comes and saves the day. I don't know what is being done here, But the fact is, there are tons and tons of mixed stories being sent out. about Sasha Banks. And look, if Sasha's going to go back to WWE, that's cool. Let her do her New Japan thing. Let her go Stardom. Let her go AAA. Let her go wherever the hell she wants. But she didn't have to create a different persona and leave WWE to do that. I genuinely believe that Triple H and WWE probably would have come up with something for her to do while still being Sasha Banks. I just genuinely believe that, and I could be wrong too, and that's obviously a big thing. But there's just something about this reporting here. One day, it's Sasha Banks is a sure thing for AEW. We got people saying Sasha Banks has signed to AEW. You got, the mixed reports of Sasha leaving WWE. If Sasha Banks does not show up on Dynamite next week, things are going to be very, very interesting, because at that point, I would believe that she's going to have 2023 being the year that she does her world tour and stuff, and then goes back to WWE. But if she goes back to WWE, that is going to be interesting, very interesting to say the least. And now for our final topic of the day, guys. It appears that WWE could very well be signing a top NJPW star. This is where things get interesting. Jay White could potentially be walking into WWE. He could potentially be walking into AEW as well. NJPW, New Year Dash. We saw Jay White lose in a multi-man tag match. After the match, Jay White cuts a promo. He blames Hikuleo for the loss and challenges him to a loser leaves New Japan match. We don't know any details of exactly when this match will take place, but there has been tons of rumors and speculation that lead people to believe Jay White could be joining the OC in WWE. This would be massive. I won't lie. I think it could be massive. But if Jay White were to join WWE, great. There's a lot of great matches there. Obviously, Seth Rollins just got hurt, but that would be a great match between the two. Obviously, AJ Styles is hurt, so Jay White joining the club, the OC, could make a lot of sense. But I see a lot of people on social media, they're really not understanding the possibility that Jay White could also go to AEW. He's appeared there before. He's done some big things in the world of wrestling, and AEW could be a good landing spot for him as well. The belief is that he could be going to WWE. I think until there is something confirmed, it is very hard to gauge an opinion on this. Because again, we're just going off ideology and speculation. But if WWE signs Jay White, that would be a nice signing. If it's possible to make it happen before the Royal Rumble, that would be really good as well. I don't know what to expect, my friends, but this is going to be a very big year for 2023 for the world of pro wrestling, and I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below.